From Mallaig, the line runs east and south by Fort William, Rannoch and Ardlui and Loch Lomond to join the Helensburgh line at Craigendoran. The trains start from Glasgow, the first leaving Queen Street at 5:45 in the morning.
That's enough of time to get up this middle of the
His
night.
card said it'd be at Loch Highland.
Over the shoulder to Kinlochua. .260 tons or more, headed by Stanier Black 5 and Thompson B1, together 50,000 pounds of tractive effort. Banked out by an N15 tank designed by Reed in 1910. .260 tons to be lifted up the 1 in 40 bank through Queen Street Tunnel.
141. Was herring fishing in the summer. That was the main thing that was in Mallaig before the railway started. But it was the railway that made Mallaig. It was very, very busy during the two world wars. Very busy. The place was full of fishing boats from the east coast down Clyde way. Local boats, Barra boats, Louis Donaway boats, all the boats round about come into Mallaig in them times. And the herrings was, they were very plentiful. Very, very plentiful. It was kept going day and night.
Up over Glasgow's Cowlairs Bank. Best steam coal.
Kelvin River,
200 pounds pressure.
a waking city.
A 30-ton coach.
Knightswood Estate,
Away from it all, away from it all.
Clydebank cranes, Kilpatrick Kirk, Bowling, Dumbarton Bridge, mooring on the Clyde, a clear road, a good head of steam, Craigendoran and on the West Highland proper.
Table 54, Outer Island steamer service. Stornoway depart 12:30 a.m. Mallaig arrive 7:05 a.m. to connect with morning train to Glasgow.
Aye, connect, perhaps. The Minch can make the Loch Seaforth mighty late, and then they may have to run a special to take the men of Lewis to the city, the visitors to home, the Tweeds to the world, and the lobsters to London.
The line from Fort William to Mallaig was opened without formality on the 1st of April 1901. One of the last survivors of the men to have worked on its building was John McClellan.
started on the line when I was 16 or 17. The railway started then. Oh, it was pretty rough going, you know. An awful lot of boring to do. It was all rock from Malig all right up to Glasnacarda. They had to bore all that, and it was all done by hammer and drill.
From Craigendoran to Malig, 141 miles of line.
To be maintained.
And rolling stock checked.
At Arica, the morning local leaves from under the shadow of Ben Lomond.
"60 miles north, the stations await their passengers and goods."
Northbound, 3 freights a night, and 1 each day from Glasgow's Yoker yard.
With coal and ploughs and general wear.
South there's fish and tweed. And whiskey.
North, alumina in special trucks from Burntisland to Fort William.
To Fort William. The line was opened on the 11th of August 1894. Through Rannoch and Lochaber it had come to Loch Linney side.
To Fort William, with passengers and parcels, freight and food. For 65 years, the trucks, vans and coaches have all needed engine power.
Shed 65J. Stock 6 Class 5 MTs Staniard Black 5 from the old LMS.
1 modified K4 named Macallan Moore.
5 K1s Peppercorns design.
2 K2s usually based at Malig.
And as yard pilots, 2 J36s.
All to be maintained and serviced, engines to coal.
And some to repair.
What engine am I getting the day, Jimmy?
1784, Johnny.
The engines leave Fort William shed.
To work south to Glasgow.
And west to Malig.
The day's well begun. The lines are live from end to end. The all-night passengers begin to wake, having left King's Cross at 7:30 yesterday evening.
Well, sir, 7 o'clock. Did you have a nice night? Yes.
By Rue and Shandon and Gairloch Head.
Breakfast now being served.
Railway porridge.
Gairloch Head and up to Douglas Summit.
1 in 58, 1 in 54, easing to 1 in 80.
Loch Long, where tankers berth across from Argyle's bowling green.
3/4 regulator, 30% cut off, 12 chain curves, and climbing steady.
Glen Douglas past, it's down again across from the cobbler on his peak.
2 miles down at 1 in 50. Regulator closed, pistons drifting, braking as we take the curves.
They've got us away from Malig on time.
Oh, it took 3 years. 3 years to make the railway. I didn't go any further along than, but 3/4 of a mile out. And there was, squads here and squads further along, right along the whole way to Bannaby, right from Malig to Bannaby.
Farthest west for a mainland railway, west of Wales, west of Penzance, yet once part of the London and North Eastern.
And there's a loch there called Loch na Nua. It's a beautiful loch too, lovely loch. The hills around about it, beautiful.
Passenger working timetable, section F, page 55, special note, 7:40 a.m, Malig to Glasgow Queen Street train, on weekdays during the school term, stops at Lengthman's Cottage at 19¼ milepost between Highland and Glenfinnan to uplift children going to school. Work at Fort William means planning in Glasgow.
A path for a relief to the 1020 down. An extra fish from Mallig. That's right, for Thursday. And to wait to cross with the up regular. Arachar to Adlui. Where the sun shines bright on Loch
My heart's in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the Highlands, a-chasing the deer, a-chasing the wild deer and following the road. My heart's in the Highlands, wherever I go.
Right, Louis. Right, Georgie.
Black 5, 972 from Fort William Shed. Crew driver Anderson, fireman Regan from Glasgow Eastfield. Work the down to Ardlui and back on the up from Fort William.
Single track throughout, trains on the West Highland cross only at stations.
The northbound with Fort William crew and full water tank is ready for the climbs ahead.
Climbing again by Falloch Water.
Falloch Viaduct highs the fourth bridge.
Climbing again out of Dunbartonshire.
Soon be in Perthshire, soon be in Perthshire.
Climbing again at 1 in 60.
St. Fillan's Chapel, watched by Stobinian.
4,000 gallons turning to steam.
Turn north at Tyndrum up to the summit.
Into Argyll, past Bridge of Orchy. Past ancient firs of Achalader Forest.
Steam pressure falling, need for more firing.
Past Gorton Box and Soldiers' Trenches. North over Rannoch, last climb to Corrua.
Each beat of the rails is 60 feet further. 60 feet more, 60 feet further.
60 feet more, 60 feet further, 60 feet more, 60 feet further.
The Loch of the Sword, the Lochen of Legend.
The lines built in wattles sunk in the moorland.
Through lonely Corrua and over the summit. Over the summit, over the summit, over the summit, over the summit.
through Career on time. On time, on time.
Miles downhill to Turrock and Roybridge to Spain, Glenlochy, Fort William on time. To Spain, Glenlochy, Fort William on time. And Fort William on time.
An afternoon in Lochaber brings thoughts of sleep.
The sleeper's run lasts 15 hours.
An afternoon in Malig is a time of peace.
But work for some to prepare the train for the homeward run.
South from Fort William, as seen by railway writer C.J. Allen.
If we join the crew on the engine footplate of a southbound train, say at Fort William, we shall see what mountain climbing really means to steam power. Then we take breath for the worst stretch of all, 10 miles right off, higher and higher up, until we have lifted our load from sea level to an altitude of no less than 1,350 feet. For the fireman, strenuous shoveling as he strives to keep the needle of the pressure gauge up to the 225-pound mark. A loudly vociferous locomotive will be turning water into steam at 60 to 70 gallons of water to the mile and needing every scrap of it to keep time.
South across Rannoch, as recalled by driver Carmichael of Fort William.
When one looks back over approximately half a century's experience over this wonderful railway, I somehow feel that from Fort William to Glasgow, the showpiece of this particular railway could be, and if not is, the showpiece of all railways in Britain, namely Rannoch Moor. Rannoch Moor, to the railwayman, of course, is known as the Moor. And now we come again to a very steep ascent, namely the Horseshoe. Here we have three wonderful and beautiful mountains made famous in song and story. Bendoran, the Strath, Glen Ryan, crossed by wonderful viaducts. On then to Benachastel, and the next Strath crossed by Glen Mutton, and up again by the side of Benor.
And on south, the way out of the Highlands.
Fort William, 5:10 p.m., all stations to Malig.
With homegoing housewives and light-hearted scholars. Into Lochiel, land of the Camerons. On to Loch Shiel, where Prince Charles raised his banner.
Westering home and the song in the air, light in the eye, and it's goodbye to Caroline. La, 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 la. I love my heart, my own one. La, 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 la. Canty and coffee and kind to the best. There I would hide me and
Due into the west, and the setting sun.
and it's westering home and the song in the air. La, 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 la.
Black 5 and B1, K2 and J headed the trains throughout the day.
By Lomond, Fallach and Finnan Water, by Bendoran, Tulla and Achalader.
Up gradients steep as 1 in 40.
By Ranach, Gore and Ben Alder, by Trigside, Roy and Spian Water.
With crews from Eastfield and Fort William.
Beneath Ben Nevis, across the glen by Loch Eel, Loch Eilert and Loch Nanuam.
Carrying passengers, alumina, freight and fish.
Aye, it's quite a road, the West Highland line. Rannoch Moor to the railwayman is the moor.
It was the railway that made Malig. There's no mistake about it.